this is Jonathan Blansett. I'm starting problem 1.2. I just kept a copy of 1.1 because one of the variables we'll use, so I'll try to recycle as much as I can. Alright, so it looks like we have the same S variable, but we're trying to find the number of times the string Bob occurs. Okay. I have to admit I did watch the video. Some of the logic is based off of what I saw and some of it's not. But yeah, he had a pretty good solution. I liked it. Let's see here. So instead of just comparing it to a string within the for loop body, I chose to actually create a substring. That way you could interchange whatever string you wanted to search for or substring within the S variable. All right, we'll also set up a variable for the count of how many times Bob will occur as a substring within the S string. So let's go. All right, so we'll have to use a for loop to iterate through every character space within the S string. And we're gonna cut it into blocks of 3 so that we can compare each block of 3 as we iterate through each character of the S string. So we'll start with A, and we'll include the next 2 letters so that we can process this 3 letters at a time. And then as we iterate through each set of 3 till the end, we'll compare and see if it has the same substring as Bob here. So we're gonna iterate through this using I as our variable, our for loop variable, and our range is going to be the length of our string S. So in order to do that, we're going to have to use the len function. So we'll use a len. And of course, S, we're going to pass it the S variable, S string, and it will use that as the range for our for loop. All right, within the block of our for loop, we're going to have to check and make sure that each block of 3 of these letters does not equal our substring. So if So in order for us to iterate through it, we're basically treating S as a list. And so in order to do that, we'll have to use these brackets. And within the list notation, it allows us to iterate basically using our for loop variable of I. So as we iterate through each one of these letters, we're going to increment it. And so since we're using I as our variable, we're going to go ahead and iterate through each I plus the next 3. And that will give us a slice as we go through and allow us to compare each 3-letter set. Got my colon up here. And if this is so, then we want it to actually increment our counter, which is our count variable. And so now we're going to actually display the number of times this occurs, Bob, the substring Bob occurs within our variable S. Okay, now we're going to test it. For some reason it kept prompting me, and I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, so I turned it off. What do you know? All right, it appears the code works. It looks like the number of times Bob occurs, so I'll go ahead and remove this B just to test it and see if it... Oh, there we go. So as you can see, it actually iterates through each 3-letter substring and compares it to our substring of Bob here, and it accurately counts the number of times that Bob occurs in our S string. Thank you.